We're back to not looking like mother and daughter
I know
again.
again. Yeah.
Hello, my honeys. Welcome. It's me and Healthy Mummy. Usually Healthy Dad is here, but Healthy Dad, we got rid of him. No. Healthy Dad works in his retirement. He works 1 day a week. I'm Healthy Emmie. I'm the creator of the Slim on Starch program, where you work with me as well as a mindset coach and a nutrition coach to release weight on a plant-based diet. If you want to work with me and a nutrition coach and a mindset coach, click the link in the down bar and we'll make that happen. If you haven't seen Healthy Mummy's whole story or my parents' whole story, check out this playlist where you can watch for hours and hours and learn all about them. And Healthy Mummy and Healthy Dad are Slim on Starch graduates themselves. And so we always do a monthly update to talk about how everything is going and how the month looked and what the month ahead is going to look like. So we always start out by talking about the go-to food, secondary food from the cookbooks that has been your favorite. And we also talk about your go-to primary food. Let's talk about what your go-to food from the cookbooks has been lately.
I'm going to say that Thanksgiving without the turkey, believe it or not. It occurred to me this week that it's one of these things that's really up to you to make it flavorful and have the additions that you really like. And sometimes I'll think, God, this is really good. As I said, I've been using, going through Emily's Healthy Salad Dressings cookbook, and which really adds great flavor. And it's just this big, satisfying bowl that is nothing that is bad for you in it. And I just think it's just so great.
So Thanksgiving without the turkey is always Monday nights here in the Healthy household. That's what my parents always have at 6 p.m. on Mondays. I was on a call yesterday and it was like 5:35 and one of the questions, it was a Q&A call with my clients, and one of the questions was, what can I have for Thanksgiving this year? And I said, well, in about 24 minutes, healthy parents are having Thanksgiving without the turkey because it's Monday night. It's from the Healthy Dad cookbook, and it consists of rice, corn, potatoes, onions, celery, and what do you add to it?
That's sort of the basis. And then each of us put in different things that we like. Chickpeas, lettuce. Dad puts in his fermented red cabbage and onions. He also puts in raisins and peanuts. He puts all kinds of things in there. Good. The potatoes are warm and the rice is warm and the other stuff is chilled. It's great.
All right, let's talk about the go-to primary food from the last month. Primary foods are not what we eat. They're the foods outside of our plate that nourish our soul. And I think we were just kind of talking about one of them.
Yeah.
So share with us what you've been doing to fill your retirement time. What's been your go-to primary food this last month?
This last month, doing a lot of reading. I joined a book club for the first time in my life, and am enjoying a really large tome. If you haven't read it, The Lincoln Highway by Amor Towles. It's a wonderful story, wonderful. I've been doing that, and I've been knitting my headbands. It's the season, and doing my yoga and walking, and life is good.
Would you knit a headband if a Healthy Honey wanted one?
Of course,
okay.
Absolutely.
I'll do a little model shot of the headband right now,
Yeah.
and if you want one, I'll just...
So let me know.
If you want a headband, DM me on Instagram, and we'll get that set up.
They're great.
Okay, so now let's talk about wins from the past month. What are you really proud to report from this past month?
I am just really amazed at the longevity of this program and how well it has treated me. I'm at the point now, it's been years really that I've been doing this, that sometimes we're all humans, sometimes you will veer off the path. And you will think, oh, I can only imagine how much damage I've done in this one day or this one event. But it's simply not true. It's just, you've eaten some foods that you don't normally eat because it's a special occasion, done, one and done, who cares? And you come right back to the program because you like it so much, the way you feel. I never thought there'd be a day when I didn't have caffeine or coffee, and I don't anymore. Even alcohol, I have to say, I just don't like the way I feel the next day. I just feel so good all the time on this program, and that's my win.
That is so true, and I hear this from my clients all the time. They will say they'll be on vacation or it'll be the holidays, and they'll say, I never thought I would say this, but I cannot wait to get back to my potatoes and my broccoli and my oatmeal. I just feel so good eating these foods.
Right, you feel well, you sleep well, you have energy. I mean, I'm 63 years old. I feel great, and I really appreciate that.
And a client of mine yesterday was saying how she had cake for her son's birthday, and she said, I didn't feel great after, and I'm at the point now where I just don't want to feel that way. I really want to, she's around your age, I really just want to feel good, and I'm willing to sidestep the instant gratification and the dopamine hit from the cake for 2 minutes so that I can feel good all the time.
Right, and I find too that after many, many months and years on this program, if I have the cake, we just had a lovely bridal shower this past weekend, and so I had a piece of cake, but that's it. I don't want more of the cake. I just had a piece of cake, and that was it. I wasn't saying, oh, I want to bring that cake home and eat the whole thing. And that's different for me.
It's make it or break it too with what happens after the fact. I know Thanksgiving is coming up and people are very concerned about what am I going to do on Thanksgiving. I go, I don't really care about what you do on Thanksgiving. I care about what you do the next day. Because usually it's the spiral, it's the snowball that happens after the holiday that really gets people in trouble. The holiday itself, it's a holiday. Have some fun, indulge a little bit. The next day is the most important to get yourself back on track.
Right. And not to treat it like you've fallen off the wagon or some horrible thing that's happened. It's just it's a holiday. It's a special event. Done.
And it takes skill and practice to be able to intentionally indulge on that day and then get back on SOS. I think it's a beautiful practice of balance and being intentional with your eating and thoughtful with your eating as opposed to compulsive and feeling that guilt with eating. Guilt is not on the menu. Guilt is not on your plate. You're intentionally choosing to indulge on that day. And you've earned the ability to do that because you're so great with SOS all the time. You've made some room for that, that your body's going to be able to handle a little bit of that and then get right back on it. And we'll be talking about Thanksgiving a little bit later in this video too. So you should be very proud of that. It was 2020 when we first did the Healthy Mummy series, and we're closing up 2023, so it's been 3 years that you've really
so much has changed. So much has changed in those years.
And you have I'm also very impressed by your knowledge base with SOS. You can easily identify the more calorically dense foods. You'll say, oh, the nuts are sneaking back in, or the peanut butter and the crackers. You seem to be at a loss knowledge-wise when you came to me in early 2020 and you said, this is the way it is. My cholesterol is... Go ahead. It looks like you're going to say something.
No, I'm not. Go.
Well, I wish you would. But you now have... It seemed as though you were at a loss and confused and kind of, well, this is the way it's going to be. And now you are completely convinced, you have the knowledge and you have the proof of, no, I figured it out. I know what to do now.
Right. I hadn't even thought of that, to tell you the honest truth, about where my mindset was in 2019 or early 2020. I literally had no idea what to do. Now that you mention it again, no idea. When she was saying to me, she had notes inside cabinets. You can eat this, this, this. This is what you want to eat. Otherwise, it's mind-boggling to me now because it's so clear to me now.
Yeah, you speak with such... And it's so simple, too. Once you get it, it's like, this is so simple. You just got to learn what to do.
Right.
What have you learned recently over this past month or so?
I think the first thing that pops into my mind is how easily things can come back into your house and into your cabinets. Healthy Dad is a big potato chip guy. And the salty things to me, tortilla chips, potato chips, stuff like that, I know. It's like, I know that once I start eating those, I could literally eat the entire bag. Not that that's a guilt or a punishment or an admonishment or anything like that. It's just that you will start to think that's something that I choose not to have on my shopping list during the week, or I stay out of that aisle.
It's a healthy boundary that you set for yourself.
Yeah, because I see it and I know it. I'm like, look at all these chips that I'm eating.
I think it's important to differentiate between what people classify as restriction and setting healthy boundaries with yourself, because you're not being restrictive. You recognize that that substance doesn't serve you and you don't like how you feel when you bring it in. So you just kind of put up that boundary. It's like seatbelts in a car. People could say, oh, that seatbelt is so restrictive. Well, it's a life-saving boundary that we're putting in place. And with those foods, you also, it's funny because I hear you say that often when people put chips in front of you. You go, I know what's going to happen. I eat one and it's all downhill from there. And so you just set that boundary and that's that and move on.
And if I eat some chips, I eat some chips, but I know that it's not the best choice for me.
The next question is about positive changes moving forward. So what positive changes will you make moving forward?
This is sort of an example of what I would have done in the past and what I'm doing now. Apparently, Good Neighbor Hummus, my BFFs, I don't know where they've gone, but they've
we need to give them a call.
We have to call them. I can't find it in the stores. Now, I would have just said, and just started buying any. But if you just take a moment and do a little research and find out what other brands are also oil-free, because they're out there, that's different for me. That is different for me. Also, my Eden soy milk that I bought, I go to Whole Foods and the shelves are stocked except for the one I want. There's one carton left and so I just buy the one carton.
Everyone's watching the Healthy Hunnies.
Exactly, everyone's buying my products. I don't just say, oh, screw it, I'm going to start buying this other stuff. I just calmly wait for, I can wait. We'll get it. But that's a change for me.
Yeah, because you're recognizing the difference between what's easier in the moment and what's easier in the long term. It's easier in the moment to pick up the Cedars or the whatever Joseph's oily hummus. That's definitely easier in the moment, or to just put it on the grocery list for Dad. But is it easier in the long term when you're taking statin again because your cholesterol is high? We have to think about the long-term consequences of the choices that we make today. So taking that little bit of extra time to do a little bit of research and find out that kava, the traditional, is oil-free, but not all of them are oil-free.
I found that out. Yeah.
The spicy one is not oil-free. You do always want to check the ingredients. And also always check the ingredients just in general, because companies will reformulate and they'll start to throw oil in things. That happened to my Trader Joe's lentil soup. They started adding oil to it. So I guess you just have to get the Healthy Soups cookbook and make the lentil soup in there.
That's right.
But yeah, that's a great lesson.
Yeah. And these are foods that I eat every single day, many times during the day. It's not like the occasional bag of potato chips. This is incorporated into so if I start eating that all the time, it's not going to be to my best interest.
The next question is about what is coming up and the best holiday. Yeah, lots are coming up. So the best holiday of the year is coming up, but also we're going to a wedding this weekend. There is a lot going on for sure. So we're going to be traveling this weekend.
We are.
You guys are driving down to Baltimore.
We chose to drive
from Boston. How are you going to navigate that?
Food-wise?
Yeah.
We are going to bring some things to have in the car, because I think really when you're traveling from Boston to Baltimore, the chances of finding some place other than McDonald's and Burger King is pretty slim. And we need to get there. So we're going to pack a lunch and some stuff that we normally eat and just head out.
You'll probably, my guess, I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but my guess is that because Dad will probably drive, right?
Yeah.
You will probably bring what you normally have and you'll just eat at room temperature.
Right.
And my guess is Dad is going to pack a peanut butter sandwich for himself and eat that while he's driving.
Right.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
Nothing really changes. People get very worked up about road trips, but when you eat a plant-based diet, it can be room temperature. You're not going to get... It's not like it's meat that's at room temperature. Just get over it for one day and eat your food room temperature for one day. And then while we're there, we're going to be having an SOS meal with Holly.
It's
very exciting.
Yeah.
And then we have the wedding itself. I know that I'm going to stick to SOS. They have a catered food truck with vegan options. And my guess is that you and Dad will probably intentionally indulge in those.
Yeah. We'll see. Again, I've been doing this for so long that this in particular does not stress me out.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. You know that once you get back, we're right back on. No matter what happens, you make the best changes that you can.
Yeah.
And also, you aren't the type of person that is going to say, oh, well, I already fell off, so I may as well just completely... this day is a wash. You don't have that sort of mentality.
No. I think the thing that has changed for me now are two things: caffeine intake and alcohol. Those are probably the things that for the first time, that this is new for me, I won't be indulging in.
Yeah.
Because the caffeine's just going to keep me awake. My sleep was so interrupted by caffeine, I cannot tell you.
That's something you learned. Do you want to talk about
that?
that?
Yeah, I definitely learned that. So I would drink caffeine in the afternoon. I wouldn't have like a decaf tea or something.
Back in the day.
Back in the day. And even back in the day, I'd have coffee in the afternoon. My parents were big coffee drinkers, so I didn't think it was anything unusual. And then as the years go by, the older you get, and especially when I'm not working and I don't have to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I could fall asleep, but I would wake up, and now I'm awake at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and this went on and on and on. And, you know, tried meditation and mindfulness and all this stuff until I cut out the caffeine. And now I sleep like a baby. So caffeine is no longer my friend, and I don't really, because I feel so well and rested, I don't need the jolt in the morning. So I am so much better off of caffeine. And as far as alcohol goes, I'm not a big drinker, but it gives me a headache, and I don't like to wake up with a headache. So I just don't drink alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so wild. And my significant other, he'll have some trouble sleeping. He drinks a coffee every single day at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and things. I will never take coffee away from a client. I know that people are very tight with their coffee, but caffeine is a drug.
It most certainly is.
So it literally is. It would be like if somebody was doing speed at 2 o'clock and they're like, I don't know why I can't fall asleep. Well, I do.
Yeah.
And so if we're having that substance, not to mention the half-life of caffeine is 12 or 18 hours or something along those lines. So when you're going to bed, you still have the caffeine from your 7 a.m. coffee floating around.
Right.
So no wonder we can't sleep. But I also am caffeine-free. I do not touch the stuff. I am chamomile all the way.
But as Emily's always said, it's this that you're craving.
Yeah.
It's the warmth and
the grounding.
Try a decaf latte. It just takes a little bit of practice, kind of like me way back when I had absolutely no idea how I was going to do this program, and I had no idea what in the world to eat. It's a trial, it's a practice, and then you think, I like it this way.
Thanksgiving. Okay, well, let's talk about this, because we were going to talk about when we got here, and I said save it for the video. Okay, all right. So I have 2 brothers. To the disbelief of many people, there is another one. So you've probably seen the middle brother. There's 3 of us. There's Max, Ty, and then me. The oldest, Max, who does exist, though he seems to be some sort of legend.
He's elusive.
He is getting married to a wonderful girl named Lindsay, and Lindsay's mom has invited us over for Thanksgiving, which is lovely. So we're gonna go over there. Sue is always she puts on a show when she has people over.
Yeah.
Are there other people coming?
Yes, her brother and sister and nieces.
Okay, so the twins?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody's...
Well, I was thinking that from the Healthy Holidays cookbook of bringing my butternut squash risotto.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I think that's great.
Okay.
There's going to be so much food.
It's unreal
we have
the amount of food.
Story with Emily's significant other the first time he ever went over there.
He's thrilled that we're going to be going over there. We went over there for their engagement party, and she's so caring, and she pulled up my video from when we had wraps one night at my house, and she followed the video, so she got the oil-free hummus, and so she's very attentive and caring to the fact that we eat the way that we do, and she had an oatmeal bar, and she printed out the recipe so that I could look at the ingredients, and she had fruit, so kind and thoughtful.
Like me.
So I'm going to bring my butternut squash risotto, and that will be my plan.
Yeah, I'll wait and see what she wants me to do, what she wants me to bring. I can bring stuff for the non-vegans and the vegans, whatever she wants. Yeah. There'll be so much food. We'll never eat it all.
There will be tons. And what's also cool is recognizing Thanksgiving used to be like my Olympics. I was like, watch out. It's Thanksgiving. I'm making 80 different dishes. And now I'm like, I could make those dishes any day of the week. So why not, if Sue's inviting us over, which is such a lovely gesture, and it's a gesture of love and family coming together, why would we ever pass that up so that I could make risotto that I could make on any day of the week? So when it comes to the holidays, if you feel like you're going to miss out on certain foods, those foods are not going anywhere. They're always going to be available. You can eat them any day of the week. Use that day as an opportunity to be together with loved ones. That's what it's about. Any struggles that you've been working through?
I don't like to call them struggles really anymore because I know that they are temporary. I've had them so often and they just come and go. And that's sort of the, as I've said one time before, realizing that there's peanut butter and saltines in that cabinet. And, you know, I'll just go on this kick where I haven't thought about peanut butter and saltines, which was my 4 o'clock snack for decades. Yeah, it comes and goes. It comes and goes. Sometimes it's gone for long periods of time, and sometimes I think your body just needs a little bit of...
Cravings are always a signal from the body that you need something.
Yeah.
And it's either a nutritional need or it's an emotional need. And so just digging into what is my body trying to tell me right now? Do I genuinely need more fuel at this time? And peanut butter and crackers are very calorically dense, and that's just the body communicating with me. Or is it that I loved the comfort that came with that 4 o'clock feeling? I loved the come down. What do I really need?
Yeah.
Well, since you're loving this book so much, why don't you in the comments either share your favorite book or what book you're currently reading?
Right.
All right, we love you, honeys. If you want to work with me as well as a nutrition coach and mindset coach, click the link in the down bar, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.